Hi, my name is Emma and I am the Inspired Goddess. So today I thought I'd film myself to show you how it is I talk to myself. So how I heal myself, basically with my mind and my ego and my body. And because I've been doing loads of things, I'm very a deep person. So I've gone, I know my hair looks beautiful, but it just doesn't sit right. But anyway, how I talk to myself in my past, I used to criticize myself, and where I got that from was my parents. I mean, my parents criticize each other. My mother never really let me be who it is that I wanted to be. I never really followed self. Sometimes, yeah, I did have a really good upbringing. Like, I always got what I wanted with toys and everything. My dad worked most of the time, and my mum used to run the house when my dad at work, but she never really spent any time with us, and that is quite a thing. Like, we'd go and play off, me and my brother would go and play off with ourselves. We would play toys and games with each other, or I'd use my imagination. My imagination is very powerful because I used to do this, and I used to go and sit in my room pretty much all the time and imagine. I used to have an imaginary friend, but I also used to imagine of playing games and how I would play games, and which has stayed with me for the rest of my life, I've noticed, because I will do it with children now. Because obviously in my past I was a childcare practitioner, so yeah, so that's helped me in a way to be more imaginative, how children would play, and how I grow a bond with children, playing imaginative like that with them. That's how I connect with children, and it's something good to have, that connection, because if they need help or need to talk to me about stuff, they pretty much will. But anyway, so yeah, that's a bit about my past, and obviously when all we want in life is basically our mothers and fathers to play with us, to love us, to nurture us, to be with us. And when they're not, it's very hard, and you just think, and that impacts on our life so much. And that impacts on our life so much, with parents not actually being there to join us in games. And now we live in a world where phones and computers are more important than our children or our children's playtime. To be a family and actually play together, everything's separate. And it's not bad being separate from it sometimes, because you do need to learn who we really are. But if we're on games 24/7, how can we truly learn? How can we truly learn who we actually are? We don't know ourselves. I'm still learning myself, and I've been healing myself for the past 5 years. Even more than that. Since 2012, and I was 28 then. I'm 36 now. I don't have children. I'd like them someday, but I decided to do a selfless act and say, do you know what? I'm actually wanting to heal my mental health. I don't want children while I'm going through that mess, because 1, they'll pick it up when they're born. 2, they'll get my emotions while they're in my stomach. 3, I don't know how to unconditionally love myself, so how can I love a child? 4, it's just something that I chose because I think when I was married, because I got married when I was 26, and I was with him for 10 years. And our relationship was very toxic. I mean, I did things that I weren't proud of. I cheated on him, but he also did horrible things to me. And, it was abusive. I'm not going to lie. Our relationship and our marriage was very abusive. And he asked me at the age of 25 if we would have children together after we were married. And I said no. Only if our relationship gets better, I would have children with you. But our relationship with each other never got better. And I just think, do you know what? I am proud of that moment. I am proud of making that choice. I am very proud of myself for making that choice. I'm glad I'm on my own. I'm glad I live by myself. I've been able to sit within myself and question myself, where do all these traits that I have picked up in my life come from? And the mainly sad story is my parents. And even though they're not bad people, because they're not, my mum and dad are there for me, mainly when I'm stuck with money. They will help me out. But sometimes you just you want that hug from them. You want to know that they do love you. Yeah, I'm sorry if I cry. But when we were kids, we played amongst ourselves, which I do have a bond with my brother. I don't get to see him much, but I do have a bond with him. Me and my brother, when we were kids, used to fall out all the time. We used to fight. I used to get him on the floor and I used to belt him. And then as he got taller, he used to belt me back. And it used to hurt. So yeah, he got me back. But we shouldn't really be fighting like that. That's not really unconditional love, is it? And I've learnt so much growing up. I've learned a lot of toxic things. I've learned all about toxic relationships and that I've been sexually abused. Numbers of times I've been raped. And it's very much you have to look back into that past to get rid of it, to heal it. So I thought today I'm going to make my first YouTube video. I know you can see I'm washing in the background, but I'm at home. Well, I'm in lockdown still, and I thought, no, it's about time I show people my truth on how I heal and post it on YouTube, because I do readings and I do actually do spiritual guidance readings. Basically, it's shadow work. So my readings are based on your shadow work, of what it is that you need to learn. And because I've learnt so much of my own shadow, I've learned from other organisations how to do things. I will teach you as well. I've had psychology in 2019 and I had it for about 6 months and I've kept it. And all in 2020, all I was doing on myself is what I learnt from psychology. And I'm so glad that I got that, because it is behavioural therapy. You're looking at your behaviours of what you do in your past. That's mental health. You're looking at where mental health comes from. You're looking at where your mental health actually came from. It's like a timeline of going back in your past and pointing out, right, when did my emotional abuse start? It started at the age of, and it started, unfortunately, with my family, because they criticise each other. So because they criticise each other, I've learnt to criticise me. I magnetise on my body, here in my heart, criticism, judgmental person. And you know what? That's not even me. Somebody else gave me that. My mum gave me that. My friends gave me that, what I thought was friends at school, and they weren't friends because they criticised me. They picked on me. They bullied me, actually. They were abusive people that I used to hang around with at school. Until I got better friends through the year. But they still wanted to change me. Like my mum always wanted me to change as a person. And I'm still going on that process. So it comes from my mum, me wanting to change. But really, I didn't really need to change. All I needed to do was make healthy choices. So I have to keep reminding myself that I'm not changing. I'm coming into the person that I should have been a long time ago. And me, basically. I was never allowed to be me. My mum always used to dress me. I had my hair down to the back of my ass. And like, I didn't even want my hair like that. So I cut it off. And now I still have the stages of, I rebel, I will cut my hair, I'll grow it, I'll cut my hair, I'll grow it. That's where that comes from. So it's about looking at your patterns, your bad habits, and throwing them away. Because they're not me, but I'm magnetising all this shit. I've been magnetising it in my mind to start with. And because I've done so much work on this, and my mind's a lot better, but I've noticed I'm still repeating my patterns. I'm still repeating my bad habits, and I didn't know why. So in 2020, after healing my inner child work, I became onto my outer self, my body. What is my body magnetising? My body is magnetising exactly the same things my mind's been magnetising since I was a kid. And they're attached. So each time you're unattaching, you're letting it go on your outer self, because when you're walking around and we have all these, I criticise myself, that person will see it and start criticising you, because it's written on your body, because they see that, they see your self-worth is low, so, and their self-worth is low, so they'll come back at you. And I'm not even a nasty person, and like, and yeah, we judge people. I've judged people, I've criticised people, mainly in my head. I would never say it to their face. Sometimes I used to be a bit harsh with going shopping with my friends, and they used to say, what do you think to this? And I'm like, well, I won't wear it. But that's because that thing they were showing me wasn't for me. I wouldn't wear it, but they would look great in it, but I wouldn't wear it. I was being truthful. So it's like, but for me being abused, I become an abuser. Me being abused, me being abused, I keep getting abused. So I've also learnt that me being abused, I am my own abuser, and I abuse myself. So when we abuse ourselves, we attract that person. So that's law of attraction. If you abuse yourself, you're going to get an abuser. I know it sounds a bit harsh and we shouldn't get an abuser, but that's what's happening. Plus, with all the patterns of the upbringing that carries on, like from our parents, it attaches to us. So it follows suit. We go in a big cycle where exactly the same things keep happening. That's why my friends used to want to change the way I look. I don't know why. I am pretty enough. I am beautiful enough without even being changed. I have natural beauty. I don't even need to wear makeup. I'm not wearing any now. And I never did when I was younger. People wanted me to wear makeup. People wanted me to dress differently just because I liked being a tomboy. I liked jogging bottoms. They're comfy. I've got into these comfy trousers now because they're comfy. I don't see me ever changing them trousers, to be honest. So it's like, but because people have always been trying to change me, I think, well, I need to change myself. actually I don't need to change myself, I just need to make myself healthy, because I'm not healthy with myself, because I abuse myself. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so I need to unattach from becoming my own abuser. So this is why mental health work is so important, and why a self-discovery, self-healing journey is important to do. Otherwise, your life will never change. It will stay the same. It'll probably stay shit. If you've got a shit living, it will stay shit because you're all blocked, because you have all these things that are magnetized onto you. Like, I don't even make much money like people think I do. I don't. I get it given, which I'm very grateful for, because without that I wouldn't have this beautiful home that I have now. I wouldn't have the food on the table. I'd probably be still living at my mum and dad's, but if I didn't have them, I'd be living on the street. So it's like, you got to think, what is it that I have now that I am grateful for? And I know I keep mishmashing and what I am talking about, but this is my first video. So yeah, so I'm going to go back to, like, so people kept trying to change me, who I was. And I've noticed that even though I've been healing the mind, I'm now on the body work. And I call it the body talk and body move. And because Qigong helps to bring out the emotions from the body. There's loads of Qigong videos on YouTube. There wasn't for ages, and then all of a sudden there's just loads. So I'm like, yes, I've manifested that. Thank you. So yeah, so I, at the process of is, why do I keep escaping from self? Because everybody has tried to change me, and I'm still trying to change myself to be a better person. I already am the better person. I was never horrible to begin with. Hi, I've just logged off and come back on again. So yes, so I was never an horrible person to begin with, and so I don't really know why I escaped from myself, and I think it's because all the times that people have wanted to change me, I don't know how. I don't know how to be myself. I don't know if I'm still wearing the right clothes for me. I just put on whatever. I used to put on whatever I used to feel. I used to be like a chameleon. Like, if I'd have a rocky boyfriend, I'd become rocky. I'm very much hippie now, and bohemian-y, but I tend to like follow suit, and I'm not being a sheep. It's just that sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. And I'll just go with the flow, and yeah, but half the time I'm not really going with the flow, because this used to be like this, but since working on this, it's calmed down. So I have been able to go more in the present moment and more in the flow of my life, which has been great. So when I go on an adventure somewhere, because I do a lot of adventuring, and seeing different sights, I'm very much in the present moment while I'm walking around, and I'm just like that. And that's how I want my life to be while I'm at home. But while I'm at home, my mind is like this. And like, I can't be in the present moment while I'm washing the pots, when I'm doing the heining, when I'm doing my journaling. My mind will go off. Like this, I'm going off and I keep going on to something else, because I've got used to living like that. And that's a bad habit, because I don't want to live like that. I don't want my mind to take over my life, because my mind is controlling me. So I think me escaping from self is to do with, I don't know how to be myself. I don't. Not really. And then after obviously fixing my mind, I noticed that my mind runs slower than the actual mind. So it's trying to connect your mind and your body mind together so they run the same, so they run smoothly. So it's like I've aligned my mind, but my body mind needs to catch up. because your body mind's a bit slower, so they say. But it's like, does it have to be slow? Can you not align your body and your mind at the same time? So basically I'm trying to align my body because I haven't been well either. I've been really poorly since 2020. I'm still going in the process of trying to find out what's wrong with me, why I'm still ill, because I shouldn't be, which I'll find out tomorrow. Yay, fingers crossed. So I've been doing a whole journey about my body as well, and I've written everything down in books. But I wish I actually just said everything on YouTube so people could pick up on how they could heal themselves at the same time to make it quicker, because I think I've done a really slow process of this, and I will be truthful, I don't meditate every day like I should do. I'm more into questioning myself and scraping away the bits that I don't need. That's what makes me spiritual. And that's what's healed my chakras, because I'm very much into line with my chakras and crystals, and I've done crystal healing on myself for the 5 years while I've been working on myself, and I've activated my chakras. But your inner work actually stores in your chakras, so getting them out, so doing this inner work heals chakras at the same time. You don't always have to meditate like people think. You do. I mean, it is good to meditate every day to refresh your mind, and I do want to get on that journey of meditating every day because I know it'd be good for me in my life. But the inner work actually cleans your chakras if you want to align them. So doing all this work unblocks your life as well, brings better things in, brings better manifestations in for yourself, brings in better work, brings in healthy, brings in prosperity, brings in integrity. But for me, I do actually use to help me with, this isn't actually a pendulum, this is just my necklace. But I've lost it actually, I've put it down somewhere. So I tend to use the pendulum, and you can ask questions with your pendulum about your inner work, and it's saying yes. So that's my yes. Show me no. So this way would be my no answer. Show me yes. And that way is my yes answer. And everybody's answers are different. And show me don't know. And show me sometimes, because sometimes it will say sometimes and it will just swing. Show me don't know. See what I mean? It's two different things, don't know and sometimes. And it's saying yes. So I ask inner questions with my pendulum, because I feel that's what pendulums are more. I feel that's what pendulums are more there for, is actually for us to use as tools, not just to heal people's chakras with or clean out your own or ask questions for others, but also for your inner work, for your shadow work. So I'm going to ask this question. Is it my mind that is escaping from self? Let me hold my arm up because I can get the energy better. So that's saying no, it's not my mind. Have I healed my mind with this? And it's saying yes. Is it my human that's escaping from self? No. Is it my soul that's escaping from self? No. Is it my body that's escaping from self? So yes, my body is still keeping me away from self. So my body still has the memory from my mind, because I didn't heal my body at the same time as my mind. So I'm still stuck in the process of me escaping from self. So by escaping is drinking alcohol, taking drugs. I mean, I've never took drugs in my life, but I used to be addicted to alcohol, and escaping from myself by going clubbing and stuff like that. Basically getting away from my husband, I would just go clubbing, drink. It got worse when I moved out because of all the lonely stuff that you get. being a failure because your marriage didn't work. I became very depressed and suicidal, to be honest with you. But escaping also, I escape with my car. I'll drive in my car sometimes for ages, just wasting petrol. And really I should just come home, but I'm escaping from my home. It's really odd, because if I'm escaping from home, that means I have to sit at home and be with myself. Do you get me? So but I've got used to that pattern because I used to escape from my husband. Do you know what I mean? And I used to actually escape. If I go back a bit deeper and I think about it, I used to actually escape from my parents. I used to sit in my bedroom with my music on full blast, so you couldn't hear yourself think, and just put candles on. I was actually meditating, but I didn't know it was meditation then because I was only young. And I used to lay on the bed, do some breath work, and then I'd fall asleep, and then I would see all my colours in my head and stuff. So that kind of thing for me, I was already doing it when I was younger, but I didn't know I was doing it. I think I was 15 then, getting on 16 when I started doing that. So yeah, and I think a lot of people escape from themselves, like computers, your phone, because you're addicted to it. And I still do it sometimes, and I have to remind myself I don't need to keep escaping from self. I don't need to escape from myself. Like, I am here, I am in my body, I am on earth, and this is why I did the self-love, self-massage video, because that stops you escaping from yourself. And I know I need to finish that off because I've had loads of views. I think I've had like 113 views on it, and it was rubbish, and I wasn't very well when I made it, but I felt like that I had to do that. I didn't. It was just because I was comparing myself to my friends. My spiritual friends could do work still, and I was like, well, what is it that I can do? What can I do? And I seen something about massage, yoga massage it's called. It's actually meditation, and it's not massage really, it's yoga. And I thought, I want to do something, and I did that video. And you know what, it is good, but I know I can do better at it, and now I'm getting a bit better with myself. I'm going to do the process of those videos again. But yeah, so escaping from myself. So then I would ask the questions was, and I've got my journal here with me, so I can write it down, my questions. So it's something for me to remember, so I can bring it on YouTube, or it's just so this is how healing, so my brain sees it, my body sees it, I see it. Because what you don't understand is when you draw things, write things down about mental health, and you see it, and you're like, oh my God, what have I been doing to myself? Why is this happening? Do you know what I mean? And it goes with the switch of your brain turning. So it's all to do with my body. That's what I'm just going to put. Do with body, remembering, escaping. So I'm going to ask some more questions, because sometimes you don't actually need a pendulum. This is just my safety net for me. So I can pick up, sometimes your intuition will tell you, or your body will actually answer it for you. Sometimes your body, once you connect back to your body, because we are supposed to still stay in our bodies even though we're spiritual. I know it looks like I'm spinning this right now, but I'm not. It's just going with the flow of my energy. That's how I've got it, actually. So all to do with body, remembering, escaping. So sometimes the answers will come from your body, will come from your inner child. I use this sometimes because I need to ask the right age, because I like to go and use my timeline still. So right, what age was I when I start escaping from self? And you say nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I was 13, because see how it switched, it changed. So now I've got to look at why did I escape when I was 13. I'm going to write that down so I remember. I was 13. And this is pretty much how I do my shadow now. I look at myself. I've knotted it up now. Don't want stagnant energy not running through. Right. So I was 13. Right. Now I am also adopted. So I know that I also have had abandonment issues and rejection issues and love issues because I thought no one loved me. So that was all my childhood playing on against as well. Loads of codependency issues came with that, unfortunately. And I remember when I was 13, I got given a letter from my parents about my birth parents, and I was very angry, and I've had to do a whole healing section on that as well. So I started escaping from self when I was 13. Is this to do with friends? Is this to do with my family? So it's to do with my family. Is this to do with birth family? Is this to do with my step family? So it's to do with my step family. Is it to do with my dad? Is it to do with my mum? So it's to do with my mother. Is it because I couldn't be myself? Is it because she wouldn't let me be myself still? I remember though when I got to that age I was dressing more for me. No. So I wasn't dressing more for me. So I was just still dressing how she wanted me to dress. I'm trying to think of questions that I can ask so I know that it will heal me. So I need to look at my 13-year-old self, imagine her in my mind, and I talk to my 13-year-old self as, so I'm the mum of me, with kind, loving, compassionate words. So there's a part of my 13-year-old self, and this, because I've gone back to my 13-year-old self, this will actually stop the whole of that pattern of me still escaping self at this age today. And it's saying yes, it will. So that's why I do these questions of why I go back to my past, because even though you're still doing those things today, it's actually from your past why you're still doing them. So if you break the habit from your past, you'll break the habit from the age that you are now, and you'll have a whole weird energy thing come over you. Well, I do. And I'll feel which chakra, because I can feel my chakras because I activated them. I'll feel which chakra as well that it's healed. And I know that I need to do a lot of masculine healing energy on myself, because I was very much tomboy when I grew up, and it's because my mum used to dress me in horrible long dresses that were frilly and gross for me. So I became a tomboy because of her. Not just because of her, but because of me. I didn't feel comfortable in dressing what other people wanted me to dress in. I basically just don't like being controlled. That is the majority of it. And nobody likes being controlled. Everybody wants to be free and live freeness. But we do need to set boundaries with ourselves, though, because I've got a lot of that to do as well. So I now have to talk to my 13-year-old self and why she was escaping. Because was it from 13 when I started playing the music then, not 16? I'm trying to pinpoint if I can figure out what it is that would make me escape. And I'm just being told bedroom, So I used to escape into my own bedroom to get away from everything. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. So, this is my mum, and escape into my bedroom. I mean, I know it sounds bad, but I used to want my mum and dad to divorce because the way they used to argue all the time was so horrible, and I always used to say to myself, I don't want a relationship like this. And I actually got a relationship like this. I got a few when I was I think mine was worse than theirs, though. I have to say, my relationships have been worse than my mum and dad's. I'm not going to lie. My relationships where I've been are a lot worse than my mum and dad's. Mum and dad's not that bad. So what I've been in, so yeah, that's a whole different story. So I used to escape in my bedroom from the arguments from downstairs. I'm going to say arguments because I can picture arguments, me doing that. And then it's just carried on and followed suit, and it has actually got worse. Me escaping has got worse as I've got older, especially now, and me addressing it and looking at it will help me to stop escaping from myself and put me back where I should be. My body should be aligned with me soulfully, and my mind should be all aligned as one, not two or three separate things. We should all just connect to self as one being and not be all over the place, because then your life's all over the place. I mean, I know my life's all over the place. So me doing this for me is gonna benefit me quite a lot. So anyway, so then I'll picture my 13-year-old self, and I'll say to her, and I'm sorry if I cry, but sometimes when I cry it means it's releasement, and sometimes it's not always me that's crying. Sometimes it's my inner child, and when you know it's not you crying, is even my soul, when I've healed my soul before, my soul's cried, you'll feel different tears come out. It's really weird, like you can feel tears come out but you're not actually crying, which is a very great experience to have. So I'm going to take myself back to my 13-year-old self, and I'm going to say to her, I am sorry. Basically it's Ho'oponopono. I am sorry that I kept making you escape from things that really you should have addressed and not escaped from. And I'm sorry that you went through that, what you went through with my mum, with people wanting to change you because you didn't need to change at all. You should have just not had those people in your life. I know it's hard to walk away from your parents, but so I know some people do eventually. I'm not, because I actually want to fix. There's going to be another YouTube video coming where I am going to say something to change things of perspective of how parents treated us when we were kids, but that's a whole different video. But while I'm working through this, my parents will stay the same while I do this. My parents will change when I make the other video. But while I'm doing the inner work, they won't change. I will just see more of their true selves. I become high vibrational. I'm like, oh my God, what? Jesus. Anyway, so to my 13-year-old self, I also want to say to you that you never needed to change, that you could have just stood up for yourself and say no, and that it's okay for you to stand up for yourself and say no, I want to cut my hair, I don't want it long, I want to dress how I feel comfortable in, I don't have to wear makeup if I don't want to, face is already beautiful, my face is already beautiful. So when I talk to myself like this, it's changing my inner child's life. So in another parallel world. So when I do the Ho'oponopono, I don't just do the Ho'oponopono. I will talk to my inner self very compassionately. So she is changing in a parallel world. And as I've done this, I've changed. I've changed loads. My voice used to be so shut and so closed because I used to be a shy, timid person, especially when I was at school, because I didn't stand up for myself. Now, I still kind of don't with friends. I need to work on that because I just cut people out. I can't be bothered with conflict. I'll just cut people off and just say no thanks. I'm not having that in my life. Instead of actually addressing what it is that I need to address with that person, I just cut them out because I'm still being that timid self. And one day I won't be that timid self anymore. I'll just fucking say it. But I am, and that's not my fault. That's just how I've built myself up as a person. So for me changing the way my inner child, the life my inner child should have is the life that I wanted. So by me telling my inner child to change her perspective of things, then my life will change now. But also, I believe that I am changing my inner child's life. So the next time I'm here, I won't go through shit again because I won't need to. I've already done my lessons. I'm building up a fucking amazing life for my inner child for when she comes back again. That's just my belief. So if I do come back on Earth again, because every now and again I keep saying I'm not coming back, I'm doing everything in this lifetime. I pretty much have done everything in this lifetime. Now I'm just on the healing spiritual body. I'm on the healing the physical. I'm on the healing physical health thing. It's not working at the moment, but I'm trying to get there with it. But I'll soon find out what's wrong. I'm hoping I do. Anyway, so what was I saying? So basically you're changing your parallel world to how you want your life, how your life should have been back then, how you want your life, how do you want your inner child to live, basically. So I telling her that she can stand up for herself, that it's okay for me not to dress the way they want me to. It's okay for me not to wear makeup. It's okay for me not to have my hair the way they want me to. But it's okay for me to be myself. So I will say to my 13-year-old self, and I have to imagine this in my head, so I know she knows that she knows. And you do this through all your ages, by the way. It's not just 13, it's from birth, 1. When anything bad happens, you go back. So, because I've had this body trauma, I'll be going back to my 36-year-old self and healing me, because there's some things that I need to say to myself, like I'm saying to my 13-year-old self now, but it's a bit more in depth. And it will make me cry, because I know what I need to say to myself. But that's healing me. So that's how you heal yourself. That's how you really heal your mind. But you also have to get your mind, your ego, you have to get your ego to say it. So when you're doing the healing on your mind has to say, I love myself. You can say it out loud, but then you have to be quiet. And your mind has to say it. Over and over and over again. That's when your ego becomes healthy. It's not about your ego dying, getting rid of your ego. You're making your ego healthy, so your ego aligns with you. Everybody has different beliefs on the shadow work and all this stuff, and so do I. But so so I hope this video is okay for everyone. I've not finished yet. I'm going to carry on doing this bit, but I just wanted to explain a little bit more about what it is that I'm doing. so you get it. Excuse me, I've just had something to eat as well. That's why my video switched earlier. So to my 13-year-old self, I'm going to put my hands on my heart and let my heart open, because it's your heart that's compassionate, so your words will be more compassionate when you're talking to your inner child and yourself. So, like I've said, I've already said sorry to her, and that she shouldn't have gone through what she's been through, and she didn't need to change at all. That it's okay for you to stand up for yourself and say no. No, I'm just going to wear this today. No, I'm going to have my hair like this today. No, I'm going to have my bedroom the way I want it. I never used to have my bedroom the way I used to want it either. I think that's why I've liked living on myself, because I've been able to make choices for me, even though I've not made the right ones. I feel that I am, and I'm trying to change my living room now, and and I'm trying to make healthy choices for me, and it's been really hard because of all my bad habits and my bad patterns. I'm still escaping from myself, and I'm still rebelling from myself, and that's going to be another video as well about rebelling, and I'm just self-sabotaging myself all the time by not me healing, by not me fixing myself. And it's like we build all these patterns and habits, and nothing is working in my life for me. It is, and I'm a very lucky person to what it is that I have, but I just can't seem to get further from survival mode. I'm just in survival mode all the time, and I'm like, I've done with being in survival mode. I want to see a true goal, a true source, and I don't even know what type of job that I want to do anymore, because I'd like to do this. I'd like to teach people how to change their past, how to change their present moment, so their future can be better. But I just don't know how to do it properly with money, people buying the course from me putting it into a course. Like, I haven't got that far. So for me, it's quite a big journey for me to want to do that and step up, and I'm still doing my learning. So I'm going to have 2021 of me doing learning, basically. I'm going to do the odd job, what it is that I would normally do, because I'm a holistic healing therapist, I call myself now. I used to just be a holistic massage therapist, but I'm not. I'm a holistic healing therapist. So that is basically my job. So anyway, let's get back to this 13-year-old self. So I just want to say it's okay for you to stay the same, and that you don't really need to change. But I will tell you one thing that I would like you to do for you. I would like you to keep making healthy choices. Not change, but look at what it is that you actually eat. Look at what it is that you actually do to your body. Look at what it is, do you exercise? I used to exercise quite a lot when I was younger. Look at what it is about self-care. Are you self-caring yourself? Like, is that healthy? That's the stuff. It's not change, but it's bringing self-love to yourself. And I would love my 13-year-old self to love herself like that. That would be amazing if you can do that. If you can put self-care in and make healthy choices. And make healthy choices with boys as well. I know you don't like them yet, and that's okay. You don't have to do the whole path of what everybody else is doing, either with relationships. You can actually be single and be happy. And find out what it is that you really want to do in life. Because I know we didn't really want to do the hairdressing. Someone just planted it on us. Though I enjoyed the experience, and I'm glad that I did do it actually. But just stay with yourself and think, what is it that I truly want to do. I want my 13-year-old self to look in her heart and say, what is it that I want to do? What is it that I want to do? And as I'm saying this, I'm getting all these weird feelings going on my chakras. It's really weird. It's my solar plexus, actually. I also want to say thank you to my 13-year-old self for just being you and for making me aware that this was here, that this was magnetizing on me, for saying thank you for making me aware that I needed to look at this today, that I needed to sort this out, because I know this, me escaping from self is not agreeing with my life and it does not serve me anymore, and I give it to the universe. I also want to forgive myself for keep escaping and for putting myself through the process of it, because it hasn't been nice. Some of the things that I've seen and I've escaped from has been horrible. And I forgive my 13-year-old self as well for still keeping me from escaping from self. And I also forgive my parents for keep changing me. I also forgive my friends, work colleagues and boyfriends, my ex-husband, for keep wanting to change me. But do you know what? They never actually succeeded, because I used to ignore them all the time. I didn't so much in the beginning, but towards the end I did, and I just decided enough was enough, and I'm just going to live my own life now without anybody controlling me or telling me what to do. I also want to say to my 13-year-old self, and I'm going to hug myself when I say this, that I love you. That I love you so much, and you are so precious to me. And I put you in love and healing light. I put you in love and healing light. And basically, that is it. That's all you have to do. And I do actually feel better now. I'm surprised I didn't cry, but I've noticed since doing the process of all these things and repeating the process for my body to hear it as well, not my mind, but my body needs to hear that it's okay. There's no need for me to stop escaping from self, that I'm here, I hear you not very well, and that I am going to look after you now, but you need to let me in. My actual physical body needs to let me in so I can help. So I can help my physical body to get better. So I can help my physical body to be nurtured. And so I can help my physical body to grow. I feel better after that. I just felt loads of energy just go on my front. Feels brighter in you. So yeah, so that is the basic process of what it is that I do. Sometimes I will go deeper with the questions as well, with my pendulum or necklace, whatever I've got around me. And yeah, that is basically how I heal myself, and how I heal my mind, and I'm on my body now, and that it's okay for me to sit in now and be with self, because I think that's why I don't meditate every day, is because I'm escaping from it. I keep walking away from it instead of just sitting and being with self. Do you know what I mean? Like, I really do want to go in deep and have a deep relationship with myself, but then I keep going outside of myself, and I need to stop doing that. I don't need to be outside of myself, and maybe that's another question I need to ask. And I know I'm resisting something as well, so I will ask, what am I resisting right now, and I'll write that in my book. So stuff like that, and see what age that came from as well, because it all comes from my past. It's not actually what comes from today, because the more I work on my past, I do actually change as a person, but I am actually becoming healthy. I'm not really changing, I'm just becoming who I was supposed to be all my life, and I'm going back, basically, and it just showed me that I'm going back to my 3-year-old self, because my 3-year-old self was very pure, she was very loving, she was mischievous, she was funny, and she was beautiful. And I still wear my hair like that sometimes, curly, with some bits back, and how I used to be when I was 3. So we even wear our hair sometimes, and we wear when we were kids. So it's all about how are you perceiving yourself, because we're still all in a child, but are you acting as you're loving, free-spirited, joyful in a child, or are you acting like you're wounded in a child? And it's the wounding, it's the wounds that you're healing and that you're putting into the light, and you're doing the Ho'oponopono to. We are actually supposed to do the Ho'oponopono on physical people, not just with ourselves. Like, if you fall out with someone, you're supposed to do the Ho'oponopono in front of each other, like you're talking to each other. And Ho'oponopono is make things right, so you're making things right with that person. Even though a lot of us do it on a spiritual practice, we're not supposed to really do it. We can do it on a spiritual practice because that's how we heal. I'm not going to say that we're not supposed to, but how we're supposed to do it is in front of people. Like, so if your brother and sister fall out, you get them to do the Ho'oponopono and just shout, make it right. So they do the Ho'oponopono to each other. And then, like if you fall out with your husband or wife, you do the Ho'oponopono with each other, and it makes you love each other more and be more compassionate towards each other. And I only just learnt that the other day because I watched a film. I watched a Hawaiian film, actually, and the Hawaiians use it all the time. That's how they are very spiritual. They are very soulful. I'm going to say soulful because I'm getting away from labour and spiritual at the minute, but soulful. They are very soulful people, and that's how we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be soulful people and doing soulful things and caring for each other and being compassionate to each other. But then there's a lot of hate, and we're learning a lot of people's mistakes, especially with history at school. We're learning about people's mistakes, and we think that's normal. And then we go off and do those mistakes with our own life, and we shouldn't be. We should just be choosing healthy options for us all the time. But people are so mixed up with things, and then we get mental health and all sorts from things that are giving us, like food, alcohol, drugs, because they numb us. And it's about letting go of them and not being numb anymore, and going through this process of working on yourself. So I hope my first video was okay. I am going to call this video Self-Discovery, Self-Healing, My Journey. And yeah, so I hope you all enjoy it. Please leave comments in the comments box below of what you thought. Please subscribe to my page, I would love it if you're new. Or please like the post so other people will see that you've liked it and I get more followers. Or share it, share my video, that'd be great. So thank you for joining me. Hopefully next time I'll have a better hairstyle and place myself better background, but for now I'm at home, and I just rather come to you as my authentic self. So thank you very much for tuning in, and have a great day. Take care everyone. Bye.